This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotato.com.
Hey, listen!
All right, you guys, podcast time.
Make it so.
It's me, Mario!
I'm Batman. Strong am I with the Force.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
You're a wizard, Harry.
And welcome to World War G episode 202. I'm Troy.
I'm AJ.
And I'm Colton.
Here's hoping that everybody out there listening has had a good holiday season, good Christmas,
a good New Year, a happy New Year.
Sick.
Yeah. Happy New Year to everybody. We're recording this on January 1st.
New year, new podcast, all that.
Boom.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
My holiday season has not been the best.
It's not on the highlight reel, that's for
It
sure.
is not. It is not.
Colin and I are over here like partying it up, but we don't want to like mention anything at all that like good
I don't want to talk
happened.
about all the good stuff that we've been through, because it's like, okay, rub it in, salt in the wound, guys.
Yeah.
Kick them all these down.
So yeah, those days have just kind of just been normal days for me. So that's okay though.
You had some hot cocoa.
I did. That was my New Year's Eve. Hot cocoa and Yahtzee with my mom.
Did you win?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I got
There's a win.
I got a Yahtzee and then another Yahtzee.
What?
I had two Yahtzees in one day.
What?
Guys. I know. It got crazy up in there. It got crazy.
Hey, maybe was that after or before midnight?
That was before midnight.
Oh, I was going to say, maybe that's like a really good indicator of how this year's going to go.
2019 will be a Yahtzee year for me. And then for Christmas, I got a bath towel, so...
Ooh, nice.
I am just living it up.
Did you guys get anything else pretty cool for Christmas at all? Or
I did, but I don't want to tell you guys.
Another Switch?
Well, no, I'm
baby?
sure you're fine with it, but it's something that Troy doesn't agree with particularly.
Well, what is it?
I got a biometric gun safe and a Glock 19 handgun.
Oh, legit?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Why would I have an issue with that?
You're just...
I'm not anti-gun.
You're pretty left-wing when it comes to
He
a lot
wants
of gun
more
stuff.
restrictions on guns.
Yeah, I'm not anti-gun.
Well, I ordered this gun online. How does that make you feel?
Fine.
Oh, I thought you would be like, you need to buy it in person at the store.
Because it reminded him of Deadpool.
I'm not that crazy.
No, yeah, so I'm excited to get that. Oh, but the thing is, so I ordered it online. It came from Colorado, and it got to... you have to select an FFL, which is someone who's certified to do transactions across state lines for firearms.
Yes.
And the FFL that I chose was a pawn shop, and their New Year's Eve hours, that's when it was delivered, were 3 o'clock, so I was hoping that my boss would let me go home early, like at 2:30, and 2:30 rolled around and he didn't, and so they closed that day before I was able to get there, and then they're closed today, so I couldn't get it, so now I have to wait till tomorrow.
That was a riveting story.
I know. I'm just so disappointed. But my gun safe's pretty cool. I have a video of it working if you guys want to see it later.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I technically did get another gift. I got
another towel.
I got Justice League, the movie. That was kind of it was a gift from Joni.
Okay.
So
before,
but
everything went down.
But did you like that gift?
It was fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Say, it would have been funny if she told her a movie that you didn't like, and that's the movie that she got you for Christmas.
Deadpool 2.
That's actually happened before.
You're like, oh, I hate this movie. Oh, here, I remember you mentioning this. At all.
Yes, that has happened before.
I did get the coolest gift I got this year was from my parents. They got me a year pass to all the national parks.
Oh, nice.
That I can just put up in my car and drive wherever
That's really cool.
and go to the different parks. I'm pretty stoked for it.
Nice. So you can go drive down to Zion's or
Bryce or
Yosemite.
There are so many national
Yellowstone?
parks in the U.S. It's ridiculous. We have more than any other country in the world.
I believe it. Just trying to
We have-
preserve some land here.
We have a lot just right here in the state.
Yeah.
All right, well,
A
have fun with that.
cornucopia.
Have fun with that. That's not really my thing, but
I'm pretty stoked.
I'm not so much with the outside.
And if any of you listeners got something really cool, why don't you go ahead and tell us?
Please
Brighten up Troy's day.
You probably won't, but please do.
If it's better than Justice League, let us know.
Yes.
Okay. So, I have a list. This is the top 10 best superhero movie moments of 2018.
There's been some good ones.
Yes, there has. So, I'll read through the list, and then if you guys can think of any others, feel free to chime in.
Done.
Number 10, Avengers Infinity War, Tony Stark suits up.
Aw, snap.
This was really cool. It's the... What's it called? The micro robot. Nanotech?
Nanobots.
That's really cool. I mean, it's kind of like a... I mean, it's lame, but it's really cool.
Yeah. And if you notice in that scene, his sunglasses he's wearing disappear into his hand. So I think his sunglasses were also nanobots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's kind of
Or his
interesting.
sunglasses were his suit.
Yeah.
That would have been cool if he just tapped the sunglasses and then the suit came out of it,
That would've
rather
been
than him
cool.
taking the sunglasses off and then it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then the Spidey suit was also nanotech, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Except for, I still feel like that Tony Stark has way too much control over Peter Parker by giving him that suit. And
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Spider-Man's thing is he makes his suit.
Yeah.
It's almost like this version of Peter Parker isn't as smart as
Yeah,
the other movies.
it's true.
Because he's a super genius. He's just as smart as Tony Stark, almost.
But they really haven't played that up that much. I mean, they've showed, even
There's the decathlon
Hulk,
and stuff.
The Hulk and Iron Man kind of working stuff out, but they don't really involve Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Number 9, Aquaman escaping the trench. Now, AJ and I have seen this. Right?
Yeah.
Did you see Aquaman? You saw Aquaman.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Escaping the trench.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool visually. This movie had a lot going for it.
I think there were cooler parts in Aquaman than that.
There were. Even just seeing Atlantis.
Yeah.
Was cooler than this.
I think the part that really got me going is when he actually appears, spoilers, when he actually appears in the full Aquaman suit when he comes out of that
The waterfall? Yeah.
That was cool.
That was pretty awesome.
So update your list, Screen Rant.
Number 8, Avengers Infinity War again. Thor's arrival in Wakanda. When he shows up with Groot and Rocket.
That was pretty cool.
It was definitely an audience reaction moment.
Well, especially because at that point in the movie, you had totally forgotten about Thor. And you're like, oh yeah, we've got Thor in our back pocket that we can use.
Right.
And then he just comes out and throws his axe, and that was pretty sweet.
Number 7, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Meet Spider-Gwen.
I actually, there is one gripe that I had with this movie, is the fact that when he got bit or whatever, and he was going through all his Spidey changes at school, and he got his hand stuck in her hair,
Yeah.
why didn't he have his Spidey sense thing, and why didn't she react to it? Because every other Spider-Man that he meets, they have that, ooh, whoa, you're like me type thing.
That's true.
And he didn't have that with her.
Yeah.
There
And
just
he was
wasn't that
literally
chemistry.
close enough to have his fist in her hair.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was one of those kind of cheap moments where, for those who don't know that she's actually a spider person,
Yeah.
They didn't want to reveal it quite yet.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
But that was really cool, like the tree scene where you see it for the first time.
Number 6, Black Panther, Killmonger's death.
I wouldn't really say this is even a highlight of that movie, really.
It's
nice.
It's an emotional scene.
It's a very sweet scene.
It's kind of satisfying.
But like Aquaman, I think there are better moments in Black Panther. Number 5, Deadpool 2, post-credits scene.
You got to admit, some of these were pretty clever and funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when he kills a Deadpool from Wolverine Origins, and yeah, it was funny. Number 4, Black Panther, Warrior Falls.
Yeah, see, this is a scene that I would classify as one of the best moments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
yeah. When you can, that point in the fight when you can tell, T'Challa is going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
He is not going to win. Yeah, he's going to get beat.
Yeah.
Which I still think that was kind of an interesting way. I didn't realize that you could take away the Black Panther power and then like give it back and give it.
Is this something that they invented just for this movie?
See, I'm not too familiar with it.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, without that, the plot wouldn't even be a thing. Like,
I'm not big on Black Panther, his whole thing.
Mythos and
I can't remember. I'd have to look that up. Number 3, another Avengers Infinity War moment. The death of Spider-Man.
This one was hard.
Yes.
It was so sad.
And people say, well, how come it took him so long to go? And well, it's because of his spider sense.
right.
He could feel it coming. He knew
It was going to happen.
it was going to happen.
before it happened.
And all improv'd by Tom Holland. So
Really?
Oh, that was improv?
yeah,
Oh, good on him.
that was
Man.
all him.
Gosh.
Because the director literally told him, okay, act like you don't feel good. So he literally said in the scene, I don't feel so good.
Mm. And it's like,
Good
it's
job.
generated so many memes.
Oh, yeah. Number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales' leap of faith. When he really takes on the whole Spider-Man persona, and he's got the costume, and he goes full Spider-Man.
Yeah, I did like that scene because beforehand he really couldn't hang with them and keep up with them.
Yeah.
And then he finally gets that aha moment kind of a deal, and everything clicks for him. It did happen pretty abruptly.
It did.
But no, it was really well done.
And then number 1, Avengers Infinity War again. The sacrifice of Gamora.
Yeah, I mean, this one was really emotional as well. It was because you could tell that Thanos really didn't want to, but he thought that he had to.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, I kind of agree with Thanos a little bit about this whole thing. But he's not very good at math. You can't just kill half the people in the universe and expect everything to go good. It's like, it's exponential growth.
You've already
You're gonna double the amount of people when, half of those people start doing it.
It's true. I mean, the population will grow. You're not just going to stop universe's population from growing.
Why couldn't he have, doubled the resources that the universe has?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or
kill off half of all the universe, plus make them all sterile.
Yes.
Boom. There
And
you go.
immortal.
We have
And
just
immortal. There you go.
solved the problem.
There is one scene that I think should be on this list just because it's oh crap, what just happened? And it's at the end of Ant-Man in the post-credit scene.
Oh, yeah.
When he's down inside the thing and then the snap happens and everyone's gone.
Yeah.
That's why I wish that they wouldn't have shown him in the Infinity Wars 2 trailer. Because you can tell that he shows up at the beginning of the movie just from the context.
Where he's just like, oh, hey guys, I'm
he's outside
here.
the thing. You remember me?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Scott Calvin, whatever his name is.
Scott Calvin. Yeah, it's Tim Allen from the Santa Claus. Scott
I was
Calvin.
going to say Scott Pilgrim, too. I just can't remember. What's his name?
Scott Lang.
Scott Lang. Got it.
So you got the Scott right.
Oh, there you
I
go.
knew it was one of them.
You got half right. Oh, snap. One of the moments that really stuck out to me was in Infinity War was when they were so close to defeating Thanos.
Oh,
Like, that still bugs me if I think about it too much.
Star-Lord.
Right?
Yep.
Freaking Star-Lord. I mean, I know he had, like, good reason and, like, kind of justified, but it's like, dude, keep your emotions in check and just, like, you could have... Yeah.
It's alright. Pretty sure that Doctor Strange knows what's going on. He
did.
He's got it all figured out.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange knew exactly what he was doing.
So, anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't have a break.
No, we don't have a break. So we're going to go right to Jack Black.
This Week in Geek.
Right, back to Jack Black.
I like it.
Oh, I just...
You what?
What happened?
I deleted that tab. I need to go reopen it.
Oh, geez. Jack Black is launching a new YouTube channel, mostly dedicated to gaming.
So is he going to be streaming or recording himself playing games?
That's
Because
apparently...
if he is, I'm actually really interested. He's a really good improv comic.
He is.
Mhm.
And so I'd be...
So to
I would
kind of get
definitely
his
watch
reactions to it, it would be pretty whimsical and kind of funny.
I want him to play, like, VR horror games. That would be so fun to watch.
That has been like played out a lot, not as far as like celebrities go. I really like when what's the Conan, whenever he does like the gameplay,
The Clueless Gamer stuff. Yeah.
That one's really pretty funny, and we haven't seen like a celebrity do scary games, so that would be really interesting. It has been like, as far as like other YouTubers and streamers, it's been like done a lot. Markiplier is huge on that. Same with like Ninja and PewDiePie. But for him to compare himself to them, or he's going to be bigger than them, like, I don't know.
Well,
I thought that was a
honestly,
little arrogant and kind of conceited. I get that he's a big name, but...
It is... Well, I mean, you got to think that everybody knows who Jack Black is. You can pull a random person off the street. They know who Jack Black is.
Yeah.
Not the same could be said for Markiplier or PewDiePie or anyone like that. But it's kind of like Casey Neistat, one of my favorite YouTubers. He's really popular on YouTube, and then he started a podcast. And then all of a sudden, it was a super popular podcast just because people know who he is.
Yeah.
And he already has people that's going to be interested in listening to it. Like, I'm definitely going to be watching Jack Black's YouTube videos. So, I mean, he's going to make a lot of money. Not as much as he makes now.
He'll still make a lot. Well, actually, because he's kind of hit and miss as far as his movies, so this could be a good direction for him to go.
Mm-hmm. And he's getting a lot more popular, like, not movie-wise, but just I hear about Jack Black all the time now. And he was on Hot Ones. And
Yeah, he is making a little bit...
Morning.
He is making a bit of a resurgence, yeah. Because he kind of disappeared there for a second.
He almost pulled like an Adam Sandler, right? And then he kind of made
Not
with
quite
Jumanji.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
No,
Then
but-
he came back with Jumanji and Goosebumps, and people were like, oh yeah, Jack Black.
What's the clock one? Because Goosebumps
The
sucked.
House with the
and
Clock in its walls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same with that
boy,
movie.
that one was rough.
And Goosebumps too. I heard that he was only in like the last 10 minutes of it.
I stayed clear of that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be really good for him. It'll be kind of interesting to see what direction he goes with it.
I think it'll just be really entertaining.
For me, it almost seems like his manager or whoever basically told him, like, look, this is what you need to be doing right now. You need to get online. You need to start doing online videos.
This is the direction people... Like, this
Yeah.
is where your audience, your target audience is
So
at.
he already has a YouTube series.
Does he?
With what's his name? His Tenacious D.
Kyle Glass?
Yeah, Kyle Glass. So yeah, they already have a bunch of videos. I think it's on Kyle's YouTube channel, actually.
So I think that's why, you're seeing him on Hot Ones and on Good Mythical Morning, because he's trying
Hot Ones is an awesome premise. That one's
yeah.
actually kind of cool. I like that. There was another one that I was watching like recently that it was like you had you had a celebrity and then you had the guest. What's the guy that does like the car karaoke?
James Corden?
James Corden. Yes, he had this one where you sat down and you had like all these nasty foods that you could choose from, or you had to either answer the question,
Fill your guts or spill your guts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually like pretty dang funny. I watched a couple of episodes of it.
My own thing with that, though, is a lot of celebrities, most of the time, they won't answer the questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, because they're trying. Well, like,
Then that's kind of why you watch too, because you want to see him eat gross food.
Yeah.
yeah. But at the same time, you're also thinking, you're just like, there's got to be a backstory or a reason why they're not going to, you know, they're trying to save face. They don't want to like get upset with like start like a rivalry between them or not be able to work with like certain people. Like,
Right.
there's politics involved, like a ton of politics involved in it. But
I remember he had on
Will Ferrell was good.
he had on Gordon Ramsay, and he asked, "What celebrity do you not want ever in your restaurants again?"
Mhm.
And he almost said a name. He said it was a he, but he didn't.
So we've narrowed it down to half
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah. All right. So I have a little bit of Johnny Depp news for those who care. Still,
From Jack Black to Jack Sparrow.
it is reported that Johnny Depp will no longer play Captain Jack Sparrow in any of the Pirates films, upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean films.
So does that mean they're getting rid of Captain Jack Sparrow, or someone else is going to be playing Jack Sparrow?
Well, that is the question, because Disney's production chief, Sean Bailey, verified the rumors during the interview with The Hollywood Reporter. When asked how the series will cope without Depp, Bailey did not deny his omission, instead referencing the need for, quote, new energy. He said, "We want to bring a new energy and vitality. I love the Pirates movies, but part of the reason Paul and Rhett are so interesting is that we want to give it a kick in the pants. And that's what I've tasked them with." The Paul and Rhett he mentions are Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, who wrote the superhero film Deadpool.
I really think just Pirates needs to give it up.
Yeah.
And just...
And I have a feeling they're going to do a female Jack Sparrow. So, don't know how that's going to work.
If they reboot it or anything, which I'm sure they will, the protagonist will be
Just
female.
because they said new energy.
Yeah.
They could do that, like almost like taking on the mantle. You know, you get a lot like through Pirates, like the whole transition. You'll get like plenty of pirates to take on the name of like a notorious pirate just because of the name.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Just like in Princess Bride.
Yeah.
The only problem I see with this is people are already sick of the Pirates movies. If you get rid of Jack Sparrow as a male and you change it to a female, I think people just aren't going to care. And they're not going to watch it.
Unfortunately.
Even more so than if it was replaced with another male actor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that female actors are bad. I'm just saying that's what I think is going to happen.
And I think they should wait for a while before rebooting it.
Yeah.
Wait for like a good maybe 10 years.
Do kind of like the Fantastic Beasts, like they gave Harry Potter time to simmer. I mean, it's still like been in the news and big, and with like being able to go to Hogwarts, Universal, but they kind of like let it sit a little bit and then brought it back.
Yeah.
Well,
or in another form.
Even then, specifically Harry Potter, I'm sure they're going to wait until Daniel Radcliffe is in his late 30s or early 40s. Well, he's probably already in his mid 30s, right?
No, he's not even. He's still in his mid 20s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
He's a young guy.
I think he's probably like 29, because I'm almost 25. There's no way he's...
Let's look up how old
All right.
D-Rad is.
They're probably going to wait till he's middle-aged, and then they're going to do another Harry Potter movie with him doing his horror crap, which I would still watch.
Yeah, maybe do a big screen version of The Cursed Child.
Mm-hmm.
He's 29.
There you go.
Emma Watson, 28, and Rupert is 30.
It's hard to believe that Emma Watson's only like 3 years older than me.
Right.
That's weird.
Sorry guys, I got lost in your eye.
Emily, that whistle was AJ.
Yes, it was.
So you know.
I can confirm that whistle was AJ.
Oh, I thought you were talking to like the celebrity Emma Watson. Okay, I got you. I'm on the same page here. Like what? Yeah, I'm gonna get so much flack for that.
I don't have to worry about getting any flack.
Did you
Boom.
before, though? Did she even...
Oh, yeah, she knew. I'll say right now, Emma Watson is freaking hot.
Right?
I've been attracted to her for years.
Quit objectifying women, Troy.
She's hot. Anyway. Oh, yeah. It's nice I don't have to worry about any sort of repercussions of pretty much anything I say on this podcast now.
Yeah. Beep, beep, beep. It's like this stream of
Except
just
for
like
to your
profanity.
family. The family members that do listen.
Yeah, the few of them. Yeah.
Alright, I guess they'll keep me in check.
Maybe we should test them.
What?
We should give them specific instructions, because I'm curious which ones actually do listen. So, like, tell them to text you a message after they read this part, or listen to this part in the podcast. Like,
Text me the message, I heard that. There you go.
There you have
So
it.
once you listen to it, text me the message, and we'll see who actually listens. All right. Zombieland 2. Yeah, that's yours.
So,
Which, it's crazy to think, because Zombieland 2 came out in 2008. Right? It's been over 10 years, like going on 11 years. I really thought that they were going to come out with a second one 10 years after the original one.
Yeah.
But they kind of, they missed the opportunity, because it would have been around Halloween that I would have done it. But, oh well.
okay, so this just had me curious when I saw it.
Yeah.
So apparently Zombieland 2 has added Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd to the cast list. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill Murray died in the first Zombieland.
He did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you think he's going to be coming back as a zombie, or do you think he didn't actually die and he was just in some comatose state and survived?
Well, with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, it's pretty clear that they're going to do probably a whole Ghostbusters thing again.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that it's going to be a play on that. Now, whether they're both going to be zombies or
I have a guess.
or maybe Dan Aykroyd gets attacked by Bill Murray zombie or something like that.
Okay, so I think I know what's going to happen.
Okay.
So, Bill Murray put on that zombie makeup and walked around like a zombie to survive, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure Dan Aykroyd did the same thing, like the actual, like I'm sure he's playing himself.
Yeah.
But he went to Bill Murray, saw him as a zombie, and then chained him up like in
Shaun of the Dead?
and is carrying him around like a pet.
That'd be pretty funny.
I think it would even be better. Like, I'd like to see what he would have to say, if Bill Murray started attacking him. Right? He's like, I never liked you, you know what I mean? Or just like some stupid random, off the cuff line.
We need to look up the rest of the cast members, because I'm curious if this movie takes place immediately after the events or 10 years down the road. Because if they have that one girl in it, she's going to look significantly different.
Abigail Breslin.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in her 20s now.
Yeah.
They're gonna do it like what they've been up to, kind of coming back to it, still surviving. They have to get the crew together again for some reason.
Pretty sure Snowballs and Twinkies will make
Of course.
an appearance somewhere.
And they're all those guys are pretty big stars now.
Oh yeah.
And they all seem like they'd be willing to come back.
Yeah.
That'd be exciting.
I'd also like to see him do, just going back to that, do a Walking Dead parody where, how you were kind of saying, Dan Aykroyd has chopped off the arms and lower jaw of Bill Murray, carrying him around with a chain. I think that'd be pretty
like Michonne kind of a deal.
Yeah.
That would be pretty hilarious. Speaking of The Walking Dead, they just dropped recently the first look at The Walking Dead, the new villain. And, okay, you remember how Negan got you back on board for watching The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
This, Ryan Hurts playing Beta, actually has got me wanting to start watching it again.
Really?
Yeah. He looks so dang creepy. And so I got from one of my friends who's Brittany. She's been reading from the beginning, she's been reading the graphic novels. And so there's actually an alpha and a beta. And they're basically going around. I mean, they're just evil, awful people that take on the persona of the dead and kind of idolize them more than everybody else is kind of they're more background noise, and now they've kind of these guys have like embraced it.
So are they actual zombies then?
No.
Or
No, putting on the flesh of zombies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like they're like religious
gross.
zealots almost.
More or less,
Like
yeah.
Worshipping. That's weird.
The undead.
So and it also kind of seems like the zombies are evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Am I to believe that?
They're decaying from like the first couple of seasons. Like they've progressively
like the
gotten
Walking Dead logo.
Yeah, it's decaying as well. Yeah, they've kind of tried to do that, but they are using them in different facets and different ways. A lot of them, they'll actually put like armor and other random stuff on these creatures to kind of, or like put explosives in them to use them, weaponize them, basically. But these guys are kind of taking the zombies to the next level. So, I don't know. I'm pretty stoked for it.
Next level zombies.
I still need to catch up. I stopped watching after the... So there's the season that Negan was in there, and then there was the mid-season finale where they decided that they're going to go against Negan.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we stopped watching because we had to Blackbeard it.
Okay.
And it just became a pain in the butt. So
it's kind of a hassle. If you just
so I think I want to finish because there's a season and a half that I still need to watch, I think.
And after Carl died, like I just kind of like lost interest a little bit. I don't know, that whole dynamic of Carl.
Like Andrew Lincoln.
Right? Having
He
like
also lost interest.
Okay, and that's what it was. It seemed like he had Carl had like two fathers, you know, that were like fighting for his affection, and so then they just kill him, and then it's just like, okay, well, I don't really care, I have that much interest, but
especially because it seemed like Carl was going to be like the one who made it all the way to the end.
Well, because that's what I thought. Like, you know, like you think, okay, you thought at first it was going to be Rick's story, you know, but pretty soon you realize that it's more about like Carl and like him being raised in this type of world. But then he dies. So, and then, I don't know. It's going a different direction now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Another TV show, Stranger Things. Oh gosh, I'm terrible at speaking. Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Stranger
Season
Things 3
release date was revealed. And it's going to be unveiling on July 4th, 2019. And they also released a poster with it, which appears to have fireworks on it. So you can assume that it's, like, in the show. It's pretty meta, like, releasing on July 4th. It takes place on July 4th. So I'm pretty excited.
Set during the summer of 1985.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a good year to be alive.
So in this world, I am 3 months old.
In this world, Yep.
That's pretty cool.
And then, is there any like? So 11
no revealing things.
It looks like 11. They've hooked up, right?
They're holding hands. 11 has hair.
Yeah.
Has hair. Yep.
What are these creatures or baseball bats
like
or what the heck
spider
are?
legs?
Kind of like antenna, like on like a crazy morphed ant.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're notorious for dropping hints and teasers and clues and stuff, like to try to get people to figure it out and to guess what the new season's going to be about. And they're only going to continue that. So there's got to be like hints or something.
It looks like there might be like a carnival in the background.
Oh, something similar to like something Wicked This Way Comes. Yeah. That would be eerie. Like if they have to go to this like carnival and I don't know, go through these different rides and think it's all like fun and games, and then like stuff starts going like crazy. Because it's difficult because these kids, like, they haven't really had a normal childhood.
No.
You know, right? They have like all this cool things going on around them, like with video games and these movies that are coming out, and all like it would be a great time to be alive, kind of a deal. And they're having to deal with all these other issues that normal kids don't even have to like think about.
Yeah.
That's funny. When you said they're having to deal with things that haven't really happened to people, and I thought that you were talking about the technology and all the new video games. And I was like, yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, and then there's the monsters that they have to fight. I was like, oh yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Conjuring 3.
That wasn't mine, was it?
I believe so.
Are you sure?
I can look it up.
I don't.
Someone didn't read the article.
Because I've got all the other ones pulled up.
Now, do you have a cricket soundbite we can add in?
I should add one. Maybe I will.
There is going to be another one.
I don't even see it here.
Yeah, I think Troy's just making up stories now.
With The Conjuring 3 now actively in pre-production, here, I'll just read it.
Okay, it was you.
The filmmaker behind the franchise confirmed details of the movie's plot. Although James Wan has stepped away from directing the next entry in the Conjuring series, he's been a little tied up lately with a small project called Aquaman that you might have heard of.
Just maybe.
Wan is still very much a producer and creative force in the horror universe that he launched 5 years ago with the original film. Speaking with Bloody Disgusting during an interview for Aquaman, Wan revealed that the story for The Conjuring 3, while not based on an artifact like the previous two films, has been drawn once again from the real-life case files of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Excuse me. It's this guy who was on trial for committing a murder, Wan explained. I think it's the first time in America's history where the defendant used possessions as a reason, as an excuse.
Did he get away with it?
Well, you might have to look that up on your own. The case that Wan seems to be referring to may be that of Arne Cheyenne Johnson, a 19-year-old Connecticut man who in 1981 was charged with the murder of a 40-year-old Alan Bono, Johnson's landlord and owner of a kennel where Johnson worked. So if you're curious, you can go look up that case and see what happened.
This one's they're trying to tie them all together, and you've got The Nun and Insidious and all these other ones that Blumhouse has come out with, and I feel like they just need to take a step away and focus on their own things and have them be their own different tangents and. And that's what they're doing with this one, but to try to keep connecting everything else, the whole premise and everything else gets convoluted, and then you're like, wait, was that from this one that they were connected or here or yeah. So to have it kind of separate from that, I don't know. I'm on board for it.
Yeah. Suppose we'll see it. These movies are getting very muddled and convoluted, and
there's so many movies that are all so similar.
Yeah.
I can't remember the plot of the first or the second Conjuring. I probably am getting it confused with another scary movie.
Plus, it doesn't help that Patrick Wilson is not only in those, but he's also in
Insidious.
Yeah, he's in the other ones too.
Yeah.
I just want him to play a nice normal guy in some rom-com or something. Sometime. He's typecast.
Okay. So, Back to the Future sequel, or Back to the Future director says another sequel, quote, can't be done. Back to the Future director Robert Zemeckis claims another sequel simply can't happen. Back to the Future was the brainchild of Zemeckis and writing partner Bob Gale, and tells a story. Yeah, we know what the story is. We've all seen it. Since Marty features in nearly every scene, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm trying to remember where. Anyway. Yeah. At this point, you cannot do another Back to the Future sequel, is basically what they're saying in that article. Not only because, Michael J. Fox and his issues.
Let's just say it's a little shaky.
Yeah.
See, I think the closest you'll ever get to a Back to the Future movie is a Rick and Morty movie. Because it's Marty, Morty.
Well, that is
close.
That was the premise of that show. It's basically a parody of Back to the Future.
Right.
But yeah, and it's been too long.
And how are you gonna what's the title gonna be? Forward to the Past?
Yeah.
Getting
Sideways to the Present.
Yeah. Sideways to the Present. I like it. Anyway, so sorry, that was kind of a non-story there.
But at the same time, like, because I was thinking about all these other ones, you've got like Jurassic Park, and you've got all these other movies that they have like continued the story, but like they waited years down the road. Back to the Future just doesn't seem like it would be very feasible.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good for its time, but I don't. It just wouldn't work today. We've had there's been so many movies and so much technology introduced that using a DeLorean as a time machine nowadays it just wouldn't work.
And I think the biggest problem is when they came to 2018. Was it 2018?
2015.
2015. When they came to 2015, it didn't look anything like what 2015 actually looked like.
No.
So
No.
What would they do with that? They can't go further into the future and see it being less advanced than 2015 was. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think that eventually they'll just kind of remake it and modernize it, perhaps. But then you'll get so many people that'll get pissed off, like they did with Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that one's probably best not to, attempt for some time.
Yeah.
So can you believe that it's been 44 years since Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail?
I sure can, because that film has always looked really old.
But they did that on purpose.
Yeah, that was half of it. But Michael Palin and Philip Pullman will be knighted for real.
That's pretty cool.
That is, that's really cool. Like, all the time you hear about, like, certain authors or certain celebrities or something that actually get knighted in real life. And I mean, I understand that's probably just like an honorary knighting. It's not,
yeah, you're not actually a knight.
Yeah. Although I've always wanted to be knighted. Like, I want to do something that, like, gets me recognized so I can be knighted.
I just think it would be so funny if they were getting knighted and after they're like, help, I'm being oppressed.
That would be pretty funny. Well, to be knighted first, I think you have to be British.
I know.
I think you have to be English. I don't think it's just British.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you have to
one
be
of those islands over there.
Yeah.
Well, because, like, Sean Connery, he's
Scottish, isn't he?
He's been knighted.
That's right, he has.
For the James Bond, like,
he has
movies.
been knighted.
Okay, so maybe you do just have to be British.
Be British. Part of the British Empire.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any other, like, British or, celebrities that I would like to see, like, being knighted for, like, something that they've done, like, noble, like, that's brought honor to the queen and to the king, I don't know.
Honor to queen and country.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Ron Weasley, what's his name again? Rupert Grint?
Rupert Grint?
Yeah.
If anybody's going to be knighted from that, it's going to be Daniel Radcliffe.
No, when he turned 20, he bought an ice cream truck, stocked it with ice cream, and just went around England
That's true.
selling
That is
ice cream
what he
for
does.
an entire year.
Yeah.
Really?
He used his own money, didn't even charge for the ice cream. He just gave it away.
Yeah.
Wow. If that doesn't deserve getting knighted, I don't know what does, That'd be so funny is he hands out, like, Harry Potter, like, popsicles and stuff.
Licorice wands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like chocolate turtles and
pumpkin
stuff.
pasties.
Oh, man.
You haven't heard much from old Rupert Grint lately, have you?
He's been in, like, a television show, like, that's, like, made it to Netflix. But no, you haven't heard too much, no. He's one of the lesser known ones of the bunch.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, though. For those who don't know, Michael Palin, he was part of Monty Python back in the day.
He's done, like, a ton of other, like,
he's done
movies.
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got quite the list.
He's a pretty influential director, and yeah. All right. So let's get to our reviews. Since we've seen a lot of movies, I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, you're definitely holding us up on that end.
Yeah.
Well, I've been given the gift of
free time.
I've been given the gift of being able to spend my money on whatever I want to, and not have to worry about it. It's good because it really helps the crippling depression on the other end. So it balances out nicely.
Retail therapy, but with movies.
Yeah,
cinetherapy.
Cinetherapy. I like that. So
here's some cinetherapy for you guys, so you know what to watch and what not to watch.
So I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and just kind of tag onto your guys' review from last time. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I didn't think I would like Jake Johnson as Peter Parker, but the Peter Parker he's playing, it kind of makes sense.
Kind of this like he's run down, scruffy, kind of overweight,
janky hobo Spider-Man, as Miles calls him.
It was weird when you start the movie and you see him as his past self. I was like, gosh, that really doesn't sound like him. Like it does sometimes.
Yeah.
But they did something to his voice, and I was like, is this how it's going to be, or did they change voice actors like near the end and just redub all over his lines and everything? But then it made sense later on in the movie. Yeah,
it was really good. Had a lot of good action to it. Had a lot of heart to it. Had a lot of humor to it.
Definitely had a lot of
heart. And it
heart.
wasn't overdone.
No. I think the story and the pacing moved along nicely. I think Nick Cage as Spider-Man Noir was perfect.
Think they'll do a standalone?
I think if they're going to do a standalone with any of them, they'll probably do Spider-Ham.
Not Gwen?
But as a TV show?
Or Gwen. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you did see at the very end, spoiler, that they're going to make a second one.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's really good. Out of 5, what was the thing you guys did?
Goobers.
Yes.
Goobers.
The little USB
Oh,
thing.
yeah, that's right. That's what he called them. He called them Goobers. I would give it probably a 4.
Wow, that's higher than either of us.
Yeah.
I think we did a 3.5.
Yeah, right in there.
Yeah, I really liked it. Probably one of the better Spider-Man films, that's for sure.
Well, and even like some of the action scenes, like, were really well choreographed.
Yes.
Kingpin looked a little weird. I think they over-dramatized his appearance a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like they made him...
What is that?
Big
bus
and all.
with a head?
Yeah, pretty much.
Although when he was like fighting him at the very end and goes through that bus or the train kind of a thing, I don't know. It was a pretty cool fight scene. I was waiting for him. Like, when is it going to happen? You know?
Yeah.
I'd already seen the one like Daredevil,
and surprisingly, parts of it were pretty dark. Like,
it was scary.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Wow.
I was I was in the bathroom when it was revealed about his uncle.
Yeah.
And Emily's like, you chose the worst time to go to the bathroom. Caught the tail end of it, though.
Okay.
In the bathroom?
Yes.
Tail of it in the bathroom. Okay. I also saw... I'll do Fantastic Beasts because that movie's been out for a while. Crimes of Grindelwald.
As well.
This was boring.
Yeah.
This was real boring.
Yeah.
I walked out.
Really?
I had a half hour left, and I walked out.
You didn't even see the dragon fight at the very end?
No.
You didn't even see the spoiler at the end?
No.
Where?
Just go ahead and say it. I don't care.
So Grindelwald has
Clearly.
the one kid that everyone thinks is special, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he calls him Aurelius Dumbledore. So he's Dumbledore's little brother.
Dumbledore's... Oh, okay, that's anticlimactic. Big deal.
But everybody knows that Dumbledore didn't have a little brother.
No, he didn't.
He had a little sister.
Yeah.
And an older brother.
Right.
Because, no
wonder people didn't like this film.
No, Dumbledore's had a little brother. His brother... Was it his little brother? What's his name?
Because he had a little sister.
Yeah.
That ended up dying.
She was a squib.
Yeah.
They said. I don't think she really was a squib. I think she was like the one guy in Fantastic Beasts I think she just had never learned to control her powers, and I think she accidentally killed Dumbledore's mom. And so that's like she died, and they covered it up.
All right, so Flash Kid,
Yeah.
is a Dumbledore.
Yes. He's supposedly the youngest Dumbledore.
Okay.
Ooh.
No.
Unless he was an illegitimate child.
Maybe he's Albus Dumbledore's half brother. And
he's
his dad
really
had
like
an
a
affair.
prince.
He's the king of the wizarding world.
The half-blood
Heir to
prince.
the throne.
He's a half-blood Dumbledore.
Yeah.
That's something that I didn't think about. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was just...
And it's hard for spoilers like
Wasn't-
that, because we know that Aurelius Dumbledore isn't a character.
Yeah.
So he's going to die in the next 2 films.
Yeah.
Like, we know that for sure.
Yeah,
Don't know
but
what's going on.
the film on its own, it wasn't interesting. It wasn't fun.
There was too many stories that also went different directions that didn't go anywhere and were unnecessary. The love story, I'm like, okay, I mean, I get...
It was hard, and you did feel like you were playing catch-up for a lot of the film, because you had to, like, process what just happened and what's going on.
Well, then they'll drop random names of wizards. You're like, wait, am I supposed to know this
Who
person?
was that again?
Yeah.
Was he mentioned in Harry Potter? Who is this guy? Yeah, it wasn't.
It was very convoluted. It was like they took like a lot of Harry Potter characters and then threw them into a blender and then just like blended it up and like spit it onto the screen and like, there you go.
Yeah.
Here's a movie.
And they call it the crimes of Grindlewald, but he's not even in the movie that much.
No.
Honestly.
Did you have anything that you liked about the movie? The cats in the library thing?
Yeah.
Those
that
were
was
freaking terrifying, by
That
the
was
way.
alright.
Right.
Oh, Nagini?
That was weird. That was weird that they introduced that character.
She was kind of a sideshow.
Yeah, because you've never heard of this part of the wizarding world where this character is this type of creature where eventually they'll just stay in creature form forever.
It's like an animagus that can't control it.
Yeah. It was like an animagus / cross with Animorphs. Remember Animorphs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, the parts that we know about Harry Potter were parts that were taught in school. Maybe that kind of stuff just isn't taught.
It's true.
Because it's more of a dark art. Kind of they don't really want to like get into that.
The parts that were most interesting is when they actually went to Hogwarts there for a second. And you saw Albus Dumbledore teaching dark arts, and you saw, yeah, and there was flashbacks of when Newt Scamander was in Hogwarts, and that stuff was interesting,
Right.
because it tied it back to that Harry Potter universe. This one really didn't care too much about tying or the other main story. Didn't really care that much.
And not gonna lie, like all the people that they introduced in this movie, they're gonna have to utilize in the next one, and I'm not gonna be able to know whether it's like from this world or from Harry Potter or like.
Yeah, there was a lot of characters that they introduced that they never even really told you who they were, and
or that it went anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and instead of how Voldemort called his followers with the tattoo and everything, apparently Grindelwald calls his followers with big black sheets. Apparently. Like, that was weird. So, anyway, out of 5 wands,
Okay.
I'm giving this like a 1. Honestly, I mean, like I said, I walked out.
Yeah.
And
I don't think you've walked out of a movie before.
It's been a long time. Last one I can remember walking out of was like, I think Smurfs.
Which no one knew why you were there anyways.
Right.
But
it was free. I was working in the theater at the time, so I could see it for free. I just, like, no.
Even though it was free, you didn't have to pay for it. You're just like, oh, this is just stupid.
Do you think that contributed to you walking out was the fact that you didn't pay for it, so you had no real reason to stay?
That was part of it, yeah.
But even having paid for this one, like, you just...
I couldn't continue. Like, this is so boring. All right. Next, Let's do Vice. This is kind of a dramatization of the rise of Dick Cheney in American politics.
Okay.
It's kind of cool because at the beginning of the film they put up this text and says, talking about Dick Cheney and how they say he's one of the most secretive leaders in all of American history. We tried to put in as much as we could find in this. We researched as much as we could. And they said, very in line, we did our effing best.
This to me looked a lot. It's like pretty similar to like Darkest Hour or one of those kind of.
No,
Really?
no, it's more on line of like. Did you ever see W a few years back?
Yeah.
With Josh Brolin yeah, it's a lot like that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of dramatizations about things that happened. Things that did actually happen.
Do they blend history seamlessly with like other stuff going behind?
Yeah,
the scenes?
yeah, and it was very obviously they changed a lot of things to make it a bit more Hollywood-ish,
Right.
But it does make you want to go maybe do a little bit more research, see how much of this was actually true. Because if this was true, yeah, he should be in jail.
Oh, geez. For all
Dick
the
Cheney.
shady stuff that he did.
For the rest of his life, he should be in jail.
So is it really? It's like a House of Cards movie, but about a real person.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
The makeup, though.
Oh man, yeah. Christian Bale as Dick Cheney, he was completely. Christian Bale is completely gone.
You couldn't see him.
No, you couldn't. The way he carried himself, the way he spoke. Yeah, he was completely lost in that character. So was Steve Carell as Donald Rumsfeld. You had to constantly kind of remind yourself
Oh, yeah.
who these, what actors you're actually seeing. Amy Adams was really good as Lynn Cheney. The only one that was okay was Sam Rockwell as George W. Bush. You didn't see him much.
Mm-hmm.
But when you did, he was just kind of like, oh, it's Sam Rockwell
Yeah.
in a George W. Bush wig,
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it really makes you stop and think. It makes you want to go do research after you see it and see how much of this was true.
How does it compare to? I'm just trying to think of movies that are maybe similar to this one. I'm having podcast brain right now. The one about the British guy.
King's Speech?
No.
Oh, the one with Gary Oldman.
Yes.
Yeah. About
Gosh, what's his name?
Oh, come on. I can't believe I can't remember.
I'm trying to think. There's a customer we have at work he has the exact same name but just has an S at the end of it. Gosh. Anyway,
Look, for those of you who don't know, podcast brain is a real thing.
when microphones get turned on,
It was Darkest Hour.
draw a
Gary
blank.
Oldman.
No,
did
not
that.
Darkest Hour. It's the one.
No, yeah, you're right. It was Darkest Hour.
Yeah.
But who's he playing?
My bad. I was thinking of another film. Yeah. He was playing Winston Churchill.
Winston. Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Our customer's name is Winton Churchill, and he's from England.
Can't believe I couldn't remember that name.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right
About it like being pretty similar
about
to...
being very similar. Yes.
Okay.
I
thought that was a
thinking-
pretty like relevant like reference.
like-
I was thinking 0 Hour.
Oh, yeah.
The one about when they killed. Also, for some reason, that was in my brain.
Okay.
That's funny. We both were talking about the same movie, but you knew the name, and Troy
Yeah.
didn't make that connection, and then I knew
Yeah.
the description, and we still couldn't make it.
We got there, though. We got there.
Eventually, it was a team effort.
So, I would say out of 5 classified documents, I would
Just tell them say that your score is classified.
It's classified.
Sorry, my score has been redacted. No, I would give it. I'd probably 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, if you like those kind of political films, on the same line as like a W or a JFK or a Darkest Hour.
What's the pacing like? Is it like an exciting movie, or is it kind of you just have to watch it like Moneyball?
Yeah. It's not action packed. It is a very slow moving, very talky movie.
It's a movie you have to watch in the middle of the day to stay
One that
awake.
Troy loves. A movie that Troy loves. You like those talking films.
It maybe sound pretentious.
Or boring.
Hey,
or boring.
I love me some indie films. Colton loves like comedies, like the. And Troy likes talkie movies.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm summing it up. Well, yeah,
that's fine. So yeah, I'd give it a 3.
Okay,
they make the movie head.
Let me mix this up a little bit.
Yeah.
Welcome to Marwen.
Yes.
Okay, this is the newest Steve Carell movie. It is about, he plays a character, Mark Hogenkamp, who is a real guy, by the way, and he was involved in this, like, hate crime, for, when he was at a bar, and then, like...
Wait, doing the hate crime or having the hate crime done against him?
Against him. Yeah, there was
a white guy?
Because he wears, like, this isn't, like, that big of a spoiler, but he's, like, a dude that really likes wearing high heels, and he feels like that's kind of how he can relate to women, and he keeps bringing up, like, that it's, like, part of their essence. That's, like, verbatim, that's what he says, and he says this quite frequently. So he gets this hate crime committed to him, and he was this very talented, artist, and has, like, all these works that has his name on it, but he can't remember anything that happened after, like, they beat the memories out of him. So now what he does, like, moving forward, he's kind of got PTSD from that, and they have him on, like, a certain, medication, but he starts... Do you remember the movie Dinner for Schmucks?
Yeah.
With the little, like, mouse, like, like boxes that he basically kind of does something similar to this, although it keeps, like, they do it seamlessly, where it, goes from, like, real life, to this world, like, where he plays this dapper, debonair character.
Is it
that's like
claymation? Almost?
No.
Well, it looks like motion capture.
It is. Yeah. Because you can, like, see their faces in the, like, for the most part, and you can kind of make out who it is, like, who, they are. But, yeah, this movie, like, action visually, it was really, like, really impressive. But as far as the story itself goes, it was, it wasn't, they had all this, like, that's what sucks, is they have, like, this great, like, material to work with, and then it doesn't really, like, work out. You've got he like a love interest, but at the same time he doesn't really want to get too close to anyone. And what's the director's name?
Robert Zemeckis.
Yes, he takes, like, a lot of, like, liberties with it, and keeps throwing back and playing homage to former works that he's worked on. Like, for no apparent reason, this villain-esque character who's, like, represents something else, because each one of these characters are a different woman in his life.
Yeah.
And so, and they give him strength for the most part, except for then you have this one woman that whenever he gets close to anybody else, she constantly, like, kills them and takes them away, which I don't want to give it away, but it's relating to something else. What is that word called? When it's just like you're pulling, it represents something completely different than what it really is. It's a symbolism. Yeah.
Symbolism.
Okay. There's a lot of symbolism in this movie. And it's unnecessary because a lot of the times they actually just, like, straight up tell you, oh, this is supposed to represent this. And it's like, rather than leaving it for the audience to discover and be like, oh, that's why this character is even in here. Yeah. And there's a lot of characters and a lot of women in his life, and that were helping him like take down the Nazis, because he basically takes all these photos of
It's just like it's the Nazis. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to laugh.
no Jew got a weird sense of humor there, Colton. But yeah, it doesn't really work at all, and this movie all falls flat on its face. And Robert Zemeckis, for taking liberties and being like, this woman needs him to create a time machine, and then it almost takes you out of the movie. There's a couple of different references, and it would have been almost like Steven Spielberg had he, when he was doing Ready Player One, had he thrown in a lot of unnecessary things from former projects that he's done, right?
Yeah.
He kind of stayed more towards the source material. He had a couple of things in there that were referenced to it, but it didn't take you out of the movie. There's no reason for him to create a time machine for this one woman villain, and then he makes a little DeLorean basically, and it even flies off into the distance and leaves the burning trails behind it. And there's a couple of other ones that you're just it takes you out of the movie, and you're just wait, why was that even necessary or needed? Or okay. Overall, this movie, unfortunately, because I know that this is about a true story, and I'm really interested to actually look and watch it's called Welcome to Marwen Call or something. Is the actual documentary on this individual.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested to learn more about him. But as far as the movie, yeah, out of 5 dolls, I'm giving it 1.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's sitting at 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
It's so hard. It seems like any movie that has a source material never ends up really doing it justice.
Yeah.
It's almost like they should stay away from that.
there's a couple of them that that work, but it's very, very difficult. If you take too many liberties with it, then it loses something. Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
Even what's the one? Wasn't he in Steve Carell? He was in a wrestling movie as well with Channing Tatum.
Yep.
That one I thought was really well done.
Yeah, he was nominated for Academy Award for that one.
So it can be done correctly, and he's such a talented actor, but you really didn't. It wasn't as heartfelt as it should have been, or you didn't really seem to care as much because they were too focused on the bigger action scenes and making it larger than life.
Yeah. All right. So, and that one. So I'll talk about Bumblebee really quick. So this Bumblebee takes place back in the 80s, and it's basically a prequel to the other Transformers films. It's kind of how Bumblebee came to Earth in the first place, and because it takes place in the 80s, you get a lot of shots of classic Transformer looks.
Okay.
Like the Gen 1 Transformers. The very first scene of the film takes place on Cybertron and the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons, and it's freaking cool. Because you see Bumblebee, you see Optimus Prime, you see Soundwave, you see all these classic Transformers look exactly like they did, in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Talked by, I think, the same guys, if I'm not mistaken. And Bumblebee, much like Superman, gets shot off into Earth before Cybertron is destroyed.
Bumblebee is the Superman
Pretty much.
of the bunch.
And he is eventually found by Haley Steinfeld's character, who is kind of having this rough home life. Her dad recently died, and her mom is remarried, and everybody's kind of forgetting her dad. But she's trying not to, and she's restoring this old car that they're working on, and blah, blah, blah. And she ends up finding Bumblebee, who has lost not only his voice, you see how that happens, but he's lost his memories as well. So, they kind of help each other out, and she helps him kind of gain his memories back, and he helps her kind of learn to love again.
Oh, jeez.
Basically. It does get kind of this weird romantic vibe between her and Bumblebee. It's kind of strange, I'm not going to lie.
Where she's like, do you mind if I sit inside of you?
Like, it gets it's a little weird. But
It's a little car love going on there.
A little bit. But it's really entertaining, and it's a lot of fun. There's some, they strike a good balance between the Transformer stuff and the human stuff.
Okay.
And you only have like 3 Transformers in the whole movie, bulk of the movie. So it's not the other Transformers films where it's just like Transformers everywhere and you don't know what's going on. And
yeah. The other thing that I wonder is because whenever you try to do a prequel, it's difficult to get it right to where you want to utilize the new technology, but you don't want to make it better than the other ones, right? You don't want to because then you're almost doing it a disservice because it feels like it's a brand new movie that was supposed to be an original, like a prequel.
Right. And they ride that line pretty well because, like I said, it does take place back in the 80s. Okay. So, she's listening to her Walkman and that sort of thing. And that is one thing that kind of bugged me is they do hit you over the head with the fact that this is taking place in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because her room
Never
is...
gonna give you up. Never gonna...
Yes. Yeah. They actually rickroll you in the film.
Yeah.
But in her room, you have all these posters of musical bands, 80s bands, and
she also walks by a theater where a certain movie's playing in the theaters that was only...
We get it, guys.
It's stuff like that.
It's older.
Yeah. Takes place in the 80s. We get it.
They really want to make it seem like Bumblebee has been on Earth for a long time.
Yeah. But the problem comes with this being a prequel is this girl who Bumblebee has this connection with is never mentioned again in any Transformers film. So you think that if they had this big connection, that she might be mentioned again, but that's just kind of problem.
They should have just killed her off at the end of the movie.
Bam.
Maybe just Bumblebee doesn't want to talk about it.
Exactly. That's why he goes into just being all somber and doesn't make an appearance for 20 something years.
Car and
see, that's the other thing that they don't really explain.
There's still all these years between the 80s and when Shia LaBeouf finds his car.
Mike with Wiki.
Yeah. So out of 5,
Sam with Wiki.
Decepticons.
Yeah, we'll just go with Transformers in general.
Okay.
I'm probably at 2.5.
Okay. Is it worth seeing on the big screen?
It is. It's worth a watch. They do throw the 80s in your face a lot, and John Cena, he doesn't need to be there.
John Cena.
He's trying really, really hard to be The Rock, and it ain't happening. Sorry, John, but it's just not working.
We are not smelling what you are cooking.
No, you just don't have the charisma.
He just needs to stop being so buff and get into more serious movies.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. What do we still have? We still have Bird Box.
Yes.
Or Meme the Movie, as I'm calling it.
I have seen so many things.
Freaking everywhere.
I don't even know why.
Even Sandra Bullock is like, stop sending me this crap.
I've seen it. I've seen those ones.
Yeah.
It was that was the original reason why I'd even decided to watch it. I'm like, oh yeah, that is out on Netflix now. Did you want to go ahead and
you go for it? You're better at
All
explaining the movies than I am, and I'll just comment.
Sandra Bullock,
who, by the way, has aged incredibly well.
She has, yeah.
It's funny how I always say that about actresses. Never say that about actors.
No, Denzel Washington, Will Smith. Dude, right. The dude doesn't look like he's aged at all.
That's true.
I'm like, he's still the Fresh Prince.
I'm not saying that she is good looking. I'm just saying she looks like she's in her early 30s in this movie.
I'm just saying that everybody does that with actresses. I always say, "Oh,
they're
They've
objectified.
aged
It's
well.
fine.
all
It's
right,
fine.
fair enough,
If everyone does it, then it's normal Troy.
Yeah, true.
got it. That's the rule." Okay.
She is kind of like going along in life, like expecting a child, and is there at the hospital, getting kind of an ultrasound done when shit hits the fan. These people, this virus is like taking place, then like the government kind of doesn't know what's going on. They're like, oh no, it's just confined to these certain areas, but with airlines and with travel and the way that everything is now, like a zombie apocalypse or whatever the heck these are, alien something.
It's not a virus. It's a force of some kind.
Yeah, they don't even like, you really don't ever see it.
Yeah,
what
well,
it is.
You can't because it's invisible.
It's like the happening.
It's a bunch of leaves and
rustling
tornado.
that terrify you.
Yeah. So basically what happens during this movie is if you are outside and one of these creatures shows up, it appears as your worst fear and it makes you want to kill yourself.
Well, I don't know if it's your worst fear, because like a lot of those people were saying like, it's so beautiful.
So yeah, it can be. It probably appears as whatever it will take to convince you to end your life, like
to kind of entice you.
Maybe
yes.
all of your former loved ones, they appear and they tell you to kill yourself so that you can be with them, or
you start, because like she does even get this like moment where she starts hearing like voices of former people that have like since passed on, you know, and she's just like, they're trying to entice her to basically open her eyes. So
for me, it would appear as like a poster for like Deadpool 25.
Yeah. So they quickly discover that they have to close their eyes in order, like whenever they go out, and that birds also alert them to the fact that these creatures are or
freak out if one of these creatures is around.
Yeah, if one of the creatures are, or one of the people that have already possessed or taken over, and they try to try to entice other people to open their eyes as well. Like they'll even like rip their eyes open until they can finally see.
Yeah, so there are some people that have opened their eyes and seen the thing, but they didn't kill themselves. They just think that everyone needs to see this. And so they're like the disciples of these creatures that are making everybody, and they'll try to trick you into opening your eyes.
Acolytes.
Things like that, yeah.
So then she gets taken to, she leaves and everything's going down, so she doesn't get back to her home, but she finds herself in with this group of people that are survivors that board off all the walls and like shut everything down, and I'm trying to think of the actor's name.
The movie goes back and forth to a space of 5 years. So the day that it happens, and then it'll tell the story of a few months or a month. I don't even know how long it was that they were in that house. And then it'll jump forward 5 years and show the present day.
Correct. And in the present day, she is going along like the river.
To find a sanctuary.
Yeah.
Or traversing a river blindfolded.
That she's basically, they've got like, they heard on the walkie-talkies that, hey, we've got this sanctuary, like you should come join us. And they say, all right, that sounds like a good plan. Like, cause we don't have this perfectly like little home, although this home, although this home like does start getting like, other people that have already been possessed. The disciples are basically
roaming around trying to find people that haven't opened their eyes.
But there's this one scene that I'd like to talk about in particular, that after these group of survivors are here, which John Malkovich is one of them, they all go to this grocery store where somehow they like are able to find the front door pretty easily.
Yeah, I was and then they were getting out of the car and he's like, "There's a pillar right there." It's like, how did you know there was?
Yeah, okay, move over. Like, there's 2 steps here, and then. But anyways, they get inside the store, lock it down so that they can finally get supplies, and it was really reminiscent of the movie The Mist. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminded me of. But they kind of like go around in like Zombieland and eat whatever they want, drink whatever they want, and his character, like, seriously, because there were still survivors that were like left back at the house, but they had a pretty decent group that was there at the store. That I'm like, dude, you could just stay there for, and he even like says this. He's just like, hey, just playing devil's advocate here, like, we could just stay here and survive, and we've got enough food to last us years if we, like, ration it correctly. Why do we have to go back? And she's just like, no, because we're not assholes or we're not dicks. We have to go back and help out these other people because there's, like, another pregnant woman in the group.
Yeah, there's 2 pregnant women in one house that are both due on the same, like, around the same time.
There's always a pregnant woman.
I know.
In the apocalypse.
Right.
But if they had just listened to that one character in the movie, everyone would have been fine.
Exactly. But anyways, then it goes back and forth, and it's kind of interesting to see because she's got, like, down the road, she's got this boy and a girl, and that's what she calls them, is boy and girl. And it makes sense when you start, like, hearing voices and stuff talking to them, and the only conclusion I can come up with why she, like, didn't give them actual names.
I was thinking it's because she didn't want to get attached because they might die at any time.
Okay. I mean, I could see that, but also, like, at the same time, it's difficult for those creatures or whatever they were to be like, hey, boy, open it, you know what I mean? If given a name, then it's like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm going to listen to this because it knows who I am. But, even, like, traversing the river, that was actually, like, one of my favorite parts is, that whole length where she's going along and encounters other people and encounters other stuff.
That's the scariest part for me is going down a river blindfolded in this rickety boat.
Yeah. There's kind of this Sophie's choice moment that she's like, who do you decide? Because you don't know who's her child and you don't know who's the other woman's child is. Because she, like, I mean, and you finally eventually
there's
see...
2 kids with her.
Yeah.
A boy and a girl, obviously. It's a boy and a girl.
But it, like, this whole story that kind of, like, unfolds, it is reminiscent of A Quiet Place, but at the same time, they try to make it their own. And overall, I mean, I thought it was decent for a Netflix movie.
I did like it. I did some research after, and I found out that the book was a lot better, and they took a lot of liberties.
Well, yeah, the book's always better, dude.
So I think I'm going to get the book and read it, because I love reading horror genre books.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun for me.
Yes.
But I'm going to read the book, and then I'll tell you guys how it compares.
Sweet.
All right.
Overall, out of 5 birds, I'm probably sitting at like a 2.5, somewhere in there.
I'd give it a 3.
Okay.
I liked it.
All right.
Do you think they'll eventually? I think they'll eventually do another one.
I don't know.
Once they got to the sanctuary.
I don't think so. I think that they're probably just going to end it here.
Okay.
Oh, Machine Gun Kelly was in it, by the way.
What?
The rapper.
The rapper?
White guy with the tattoos in the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
He's Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay.
I don't know why he was in the movie, but he was.
They just threw him in there.
Yeah.
He's got beef with Eminem.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
That's the reason why they put him in the movie.
All right.
I'll
end up checking it out, I think. If anything, just so I can understand what the heck all these memes mean.
Yeah.
I thought you'd appreciate the Ninja Turtle one.
That was pretty fun.
That was probably my favorite one of the bunch.
I did start calling my daughters Girl 1 and Girl 2.
Girl 1, Girl 2. I don't want to get attached in case something happens to you. Since we've done movies, the last thing to talk about, I guess, would be, did you get a chance to watch Us?
The Us trailer?
Yes. I did. I watched while we were talking.
What did you think? What were your thoughts?
It looks like, what was that horror film?
The Strangers?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking with the masks and
it looks a lot like The Strangers. A little bit like The Purge. I can see that in there.
Strangers, but with like actual paranormal crap going on.
Yeah. This is like a different direction from, his first one that he did, but I actually think it's a step in the right direction. I don't know.
Like we've been saying all along, psychological thrillers are going to be the ones that are getting more and more popular.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're stepping away from the slasher type genre, and it's more the mental, psychological.
Not sure what you're seeing is real or not real kind of a deal.
I do like the premise that it's them, like it's... Because that's what the kid said. It's like, who are you guys? And it's like, oh, that's us.
Yeah.
But like a freaky version. Not like a regular circle, more like a freaky circle.
They actually
Thanks, Cord.
So it started out like originally kind of like just a family kind of fun friendly movie, and then all of a sudden it just went dark pretty quickly.
It was.
I'll be interested to see if there's, because like he's always drawing from other material and some of his favorite movies, what he likes best about these movies. That's where he gets his like material for. It'll be kind of interesting to see if there isn't almost a, not like a political agenda, but some sort of like other underlying
message. About race.
Well, not necessarily race necessarily, but like of some sort of thing that like he wants to get across. But as long as he doesn't like throw it in your face and it's too like, hey, like dummies, I'm talking about this thing that's going on, you know, like in the country.
Yeah.
Then I think it could be really well done.
Because he did that really well with Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You didn't even think about the undertones, the racism undertones until after you saw the film. Like,
Yeah.
a couple days, you're like, oh, yeah.
They were doing
I
like
get it
slavery.
now.
Oh, they were doing this. Oh, yeah. Like all the people, like these guys were wearing blue. Everybody else was wearing red,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. And I think like a lot of people might perhaps read too much into it though.
Yeah.
You know, cause like even when he was like talking to that class, like it was a college somewhere, he was talking to him and they're like, oh, that was an excellent metaphor. Like, what was your reasoning for doing this? And he's like, I don't know. I thought it looked pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, I hope Jordan Peele doesn't become the next M. Night Shyamalan.
yeah.
Where people just expect, like...
Amazing from him.
Yeah.
And then he comes
like-
out with like The Last Airbender.
Yeah, every film he does, people are looking for, like, hidden messages and stuff, and
Yeah.
hopefully it does a...
Well, that just like,
And then you
it makes it
combine all of
difficult
his
for you.
films later, and it's like a code.
Yeah, yeah.
It all spells out one sentence, you know, like,
Get out us.
us,
Get out us.
America.
Get us out, and then whatever he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trilogy. It ties back to the first one. Yeah, no. I think his next movie has got to be just like a comedy.
That would be funny.
And he's
Just-
good at comedy.
He is
Yeah.
good at comedy.
I think he's a pretty diverse director.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So, oh, you know what? We actually had a call from Joel.
Oh.
I just remembered.
Thanks, Joel. We appreciate you.
Let me see if I can recall. He was talking about our Santa Claus discussion, and he said in the 1994 version of Miracle on 34th Street, the actor Richard Attenborough, who played Santa Claus, he said that there was a scene where he was talking to a deaf girl. Deaf girl came up and he started to sign to her in sign language. And apparently that scene, no one knew that Richard Attenborough had actually learned sign language for this little girl. So when you see it on film, that little girl's reaction is genuine because he's actually signing to her, and yeah. And so that was his case for him being the best Santa Claus on film. Then what else was he talking about? He was talking about the Santa Claus and why none of the elves cared that much that the other Santa Claus had died, basically.
Because I've seen plenty of them.
And he
And I
had a
just don't
theory
care
for
anymore.
that.
Yeah, he had a theory for that. Maybe I'll pull it up really quick. Hang on.
Oh, by the way, Joel, congratulations yesterday on your personal record. That's pretty cool.
What was this a personal record of?
Oh yeah, his lifting.
Was it a hang clean or a power clean? I can't tell the difference. I'm not a workout dude. Why does it keep...
Yeah, Joel, it's too bad all that working out you're doing hasn't produced any effort or any. I'm just kidding. He's become huge all of a sudden.
Creatine.
Okay, it's a power clean.
You gotta lift it above your head.
Nice. That's awesome. So congratulations. That's way cool. You're super strong. If I ever meet you in person, I want you to throw me in the air like a toddler.
Whee! Ha ha! Toss you up in the air. I like this. This has a lot of potential.
All right, hang on. I'll edit a bunch of this out.
I kind of like the organic, quiet bits. Keep them hanging, you know?
I'm not sure what they're going to get. Ha!
Yeah, because that's real interesting on a podcast. Sitting there just listening to just quiet.
It'll be just like that movie. You know, The Purge.
Yeah, you know that movie where everybody had to be quiet? The Purge? Alright, here it is. Okay, so we just listened to Joel's call, and he was talking about how he thinks the best Santa is Richard Attenborough in the 94 Miracle on 34th Street. Now, then he talks about the Santa Claus and how nobody acknowledges that Santa actually died because...
Like, oh, this is the new Santa.
Yeah, they actually do, though. Bernard, the head elf, says, Santa fell off a roof. Your roof. So they know, at least Bernard knows, that Santa fell off his roof. Therefore, ergo, Santa is dead. That Santa is dead.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting that none of the elves seem to mourn.
I think what it is like once he's taken on the mantle, all they see is Santa Claus. They don't see actually.
So they don't see like a different person. They just
it's like Superman kind of effect.
You know
right?
what I think it is? I think the Santa Claus has a really high turnover rate, and they die a lot. Breaking into people's houses, getting shot by a hick with a shotgun, and then the hick picks up the Santa Claus suit, puts it on. He's the new Santa Claus, and then he dies falling off a roof.
That's
I'm
a real
sure that
nice
falling
jacket
off of a
there.
roof is the most common death in the
Yeah.
Santa Claus universe. But I just don't think they're surprised.
Woo-wee, I'm Santa Claus now.
I'll tell you
Maybe
what.
They don't have a concept of death because they're elves and they live forever.
Yeah, it could be.
They go, he's sleeping. Like in those Batman videos. He falls asleep. Anyways. Well, thank you, Joel.
Yes, thank you. For your constant calls. Okay, so here's where you can find us. You can listen to all of our episodes at worldwarg.podbean.com. We're also on iTunes, Google Play, and we're also on cosmicpotato.com. We're on the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. On social media, you can find us at facebook.com/worldwargpodcast. We post stuff all the time on Facebook. It's probably where we're most active, I would say. So if you haven't, go follow us there. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. Just search at WWG Podcast. You can also find our merchandise at shop.spreadshirt.com/worldwarg. Let me talk about that really quick, about our merchandise, because we don't discuss it much. So we have a bunch of stuff in our store. You can get all kinds of shirts,
T-shirts, mugs.
what else is?
Even buttons.
Yeah, we have buttons.
You want an aluminum button? You got one.
We have phone cases that have our logo on them. You can choose the color of the logo that you want. You can choose the color of the shirt you want. So it's
very customizable.
Extremely customizable. So it's pretty sweet. So please go check that out. shop.spreadshirt.com/worldwarg.
Send us pictures of you wearing our merch.
Please do.
Or using
We'll post it up on Facebook.
Yes, we'll post it. For sure. You can also email us anytime.
Day or night.
At worldwgpodcast@gmail.com. Also remember, you can always call or text the show, as Joel does nearly weekly, at 385-240-1692. Just leave a message if you're calling.
At the beep.
So, this has been World War G, episode 202. That has been AJ.
That has been Troy.
I've been Colton.
And you've been the listener. Stay geeky, my friends. Stay geeky.